my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep are the makers of premium mattresses that are customized to suit your needs and preferences. You can take the Helix Sleep quiz like I did, and it will match you with the perfect mattress. For example, I happen to be a side sleeper, I enjoy a firmer style mattress, and I share my bed with my husband, who also took the quiz, and it came up with the perfect compromise, and we matched with the Helix Sleep Dusk Luxe. We've had our Helix Sleep mattress now for a couple years, and we are getting terrific sleep. We wake up feeling well rested, our backs feel supported. And besides the great comfort, I really appreciated that it came wrapped in a cardboard box. And if you live in the US, shipping is free. And we were able to get a narrow flight of stairs into our bedroom. And I was able to install the mattress myself. And we were getting great sleep, especially if you compare it to our old mattress, which served us well, but we inherited it and it was definitely time to be replaced. But we were getting terrific sleep. My entire family has a Helix Sleep mattress and they're sleeping well. We even have extended family and friends that have reported getting great sleep with Helix mattresses as well. Helix offers 20 unique mattresses, including their Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite line. They also have Helix Plus for big and tall sleepers and Helix Kids. Every Helix mattress comes with a 100-night sleep trial to make sure you love it. There's also financing options and flexible payment plans, and all Helix Sleep mattresses are fiberglass free. Helix is currently running their Black Friday sale. It's a 25% off site-wide sale plus 2 free pillows, and if you order either an Elite or Luxe mattress, it comes with a free bedroom bundle. You can click the link down below or head over to helixsleep.com/emmymade to take advantage of this limited time offer. Big thanks to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video and for their continued support so I can make better videos for all of you. All right, my lovelies, today we're making yet another vintage recipe. This one sounds very interesting. It's called the moist lettuce bars. Moist, everyone's favorite word. Lettuce, leafy green vegetable that we often have as a salad. Bars, a cuttable dessert. We're going to be making a dessert using lettuce. Intriguing, right? So I don't know the actual origins of this recipe. It was sent to me via messages. Follow me on social media if you don't already. And I had this and I said, oh yeah, let's revisit that because I never made it. And it's definitely vintage. The image I have looks to be of a photograph. I can't exactly say of what time, maybe 40s, 50s, 60s, but we're going to be making bars with lettuce, and they're supposed to be moist. It sounds like basically like a spice cake with lettuce, and then it has a little bit of a lemon icing on top. I can imagine the flavor. It's going to be artificial lemon flavored and spice, which doesn't sound terrible, but I'm most intrigued about the addition of the lettuce and how that will affect the texture and if it will add any additional flavor and if these bars are indeed moist. So let's go ahead and find out. So in this bowl, I have a 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, plain old simple boring flour, and we're going to add some baking soda. Not too much. And next we're going to add some baking powder. Actually quite a bit of baking powder. 2 teaspoons of that. And some salt. Every dessert needs a bit of salt. And for flavor, we're going to have a combination of ginger powder and mace. And mace is the outside of the nutmeg seed. If you've ever seen a whole nutmeg, there's this kind of veiny bit on the outside of that, and that is mace. This is already pre-ground. It smells lovely. And we just need a touch of it. 1/8 teaspoon of both of these. So pretty light in flavor, although these are pretty powerful spices. Ginger, not so much, at least dried. In its dried form, I don't find it to be that strong. Okay, ginger, mace, that's it for flavoring. No vanilla. Oh, that's not true. We're going to have some lemon zest in this too. And now we're going to just combine that together. And that's it for the dry. Behind me, I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. So let's set this aside for a minute. Now we're going to combine our wet ingredients. Sugar is often considered a wet ingredient. Good cup of sugar and some vegetable oil. I think this is what's going to be a big part of making the bars moist, despite having lettuce. So we're going to mix those two together. Oh, and now we need to add 1.5 teaspoons of lemon zest. So I have a couple of lemons here and we're going to zest them. To zest these, I'm going to opt for my microplane. And what I've learned is that rather than grating the lemon over the plane like this is a bit easier and more effective, running the plane over the lemon. See that? You get bigger pieces. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe because you can angle the plane better over the lemon? Not sure. Oh, but gosh, does it smell good? Oh my goodness, I almost dropped the lemon into the bowl. That's what happens when you're trying to talk at the same time. Oh, it smells so good. Look at that. So sunny. So I'm gonna do, it says 1.5 teaspoons of this. So I think the zest of both of these should do us. Okay, getting there. This lemon's a little bit smaller. If you're gonna zest a lemon, the bigger ones are easier to get a hold of. All right, okay, so get all of that in there. And now we're just gonna mix this. Now, if we just had sugar and the lemon zest, it would be a great start for a lemonade, actually. Have you seen my State Fair lemonade recipe? You should definitely check that out. One of my favoriteest lemonades ever. It is so, so good. So it doesn't specify what type of lettuce. It just says chopped, 1 cup, finely chopped. So I grabbed a head of iceberg because to me that's kind of iconically mid-century somehow. So I think any lettuce will work, but somehow it should be green. I don't know why. It doesn't say it needs to be, but I don't know. Makes it more healthy or something. So it says finely chopped. So I will shred and then chop. And not sure how much it's gonna be. Maybe 1/4 of a head of a decent size iceberg lettuce. Let's see. I always like to think about the origins of these recipes and the resourceful cook that came up with this recipe, or the imagined resourceful cook that came up with this recipe. Let's use some of our lettuce out of the garden or from whenever and make a little sweet treat. When I was researching this recipe and where it came from, I stumbled upon my friend Heather's blog, and she tried this recipe. I didn't want to read too much of it because I didn't want to know what she thought of it in advance of making this recipe, but I thought it was so funny and what a coincidence that we both were interested in this recipe. Anyways, I'll put a link down below to her Substack. She's hilarious. Okay, 1 cup of chopped lettuce. That was the perfect amount of finely chopped lettuce. Great. We also need some chopped walnuts. So mine are not chopped, so let's do that while we have the cutting board out. And we might get some lettuce in our walnuts, but that's okay because they're all going to be friends in the end. That is good. Oh, it smells great. Alrighty, I think we have almost all of our ingredients at this point. Now we're going to add the lettuce to the flour. This step reminds me a little bit of zucchini bread, or my favorite zucchini bread recipe, which asks you to mix the shredded zucchini in the flour. And I think it has to do something with coating all those veggie pieces. You know what I mean? In flour, so that they remain in suspension. I don't know, this is just my mind thinking. There's no basis in food science whatsoever. Just my logical thinking. Okay, now we're going to add the sugar mixture. This is curious because there's not a lot of liquid to this. So we're supposed to mix this and then add 1 egg at a time. 2 eggs. Interesting. It's looking pale and chunky, a little bit oily. So I have 2 egg yolks in here, which for me equals 1 egg, and we'll mix that in. These of course come from my chickens. They're super sunny. Their egg laying is slowing down for sure though. That often happens in the winter time. I've read it has something to do with sunlight rather than temperature. But they're still laying, just not as many. All right, yeah, it's turning more into a dough with the addition of the egg. It smells lemony. It doesn't smell too spicy. It just smells more lemony. Okay, and the other egg. Still pretty dry, but this has a glaze to it as well. So maybe that will make it more kind of bar-like. I don't know. Again, makes me think of cake, but oh, it smells great. And the yellow color is beautiful. Okay, so we're coming along here. Now, our walnuts. That's it for the mixture. So as it's sitting, it's kind of hydrating the flour, I think. Okay, that's our beautiful mixture. It looks more like a stuffing or something, you know, like a dressing, something you put inside a turkey. Now we're going to get a 9 by 13 pan and I'm gonna grease it. And tip it into the pan. And I'm gonna press this into the pan because these are supposed to be bars. So here we go. Press, press, press. And again, it definitely looks more savory. I think those little flecks of light green make me think, you know, stuffing or I don't know, casserole or something. It's about the pan too, I think. So I am doing my best to get this into one even layer. That's always a good thing when you're cooking, so that everything cooks evenly. Typically the sides and edges get a little neglected, so I'm making sure that there's enough on the edges too. I'm going to use my impeccably clean hands because oftentimes that's the best tool. Gives you a good sense of whether or not things are even, you know? More surface area. Plus it's fun to get a little messy, to get in there, you know? It's an extension of yourself. You can add some good love juju. All right, that feels nice and level. Right, time to pop this into a preheated 350-degree oven and bake for half an hour. And then we'll glaze it and taste it. See a little bit. Alrighty, my lovelies, the moist lettuce bars are nearly complete. We have about 30 seconds, and then we will make a glaze while it cools a little bit. Put the glaze on and then give this a taste. Wow, look at that. It looks almost like a blondie. Can you hear it? Sizzling a bit. Look at that. Looks like a blondie with little light green flecks. It smells sweet and lemony and a little bit like shortbread, but there's no butter in it. It's that baked pastry smell. You know what I mean? Like cookies, but no vanilla flavor. So here we are. Look at the surface. A little bit nubbly with flecks of green. So we'll let this cool a bit while we make our icing, which is pretty simple. I've got just a little bit of butter that I put in the microwave for a spell. They said softened. So mush that up a bit. And to that, we will add our powdered sugar. And we want a cup and a half of powdered sugar. So I'm going to add this in a few increments, just so we can get the butter incorporated a bit, because this also has milk, and once the butter gets cold, it will solidify. And then we also need more lemon zest. Tap that into there. This is almost more of a lemon cake to me, at least what I'm smelling in the kitchen. It smells some spice, but mostly it's a lovely lemony smell. So now the butter is incorporated, and we're gonna add some milk. Pretty standard here when it comes to icings, just enough to make this into a glaze. So I'm going to start 1 tablespoon at a time. Powdered sugar behaves in the most unusual way. You don't need much liquid to make it flow. So I remember learning that very early on in my cooking days, thinking, oh, it's so dry. And then I added way too much liquid and then it was very runny. So this does need a little bit more, but just a splash. We want it to be spreadable kind of glaze. If we don't have it thin enough, it won't spread evenly. So I'm going to add the full 3 tablespoons. All right, it smells great. Okay, that's it for the icing. Now we're going to add our lemon glaze icing to our bars. And then I will spread this all around with my offset spatula. I think I'm just going to use the spatula and spread it. Works well enough. So spreading it all out, getting it all in. That's it. It looks kind of like a cereal bar. Looking glossy, right? So this will solidify once it's kind of dried out a bit. So it'll be kind of crackly on top, but right now it's shiny and glossy. All right, my lovelies, moment of truth. Let's see how the moist lettuce bars are. Number 1, are they moist? Let's find out. Bars. Oh, it's already getting crackly. Very nice. It's cutting kind of like a cake. It feels a little bit crackly. And let's get one of these pieces out. Are you seeing this? We're getting tight on this. Okay, here we go. Oh, look at that. They're very yellow and there are flecks of green. Look, see that? That's nutty. And the icing is beginning to set up, so it's kind of got this crackly finish. It cuts a bit like a cake, right? Alrighty, lovelies, the moment of truth. Let's give the moist lettuce bars a taste. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Very sweet. Very, very sweet. And it is moist, but not moist like a brownie. You know how brownies have kind of density to them and you can sink your teeth into them, or blondie, or some kind of almost candy-like cake. This has a different texture. This is as sweet as a brownie. It was very sweet. But the texture is more crumbly, and you definitely feel the walnuts in there, which add a nice texture and flavor. The overall flavor is lemon. A little bit of mace and ginger that we put in there are there and kind of warm things up, but predominantly I taste lemon. It's a lot sweeter than I expected, but this did have 1 cup of sugar in it. And the biggest thing is, does it taste like lettuce? No, it doesn't. I don't taste any lettuce whatsoever. Nope. Blindfolded, if I didn't see the flecks of green, I would have no idea that this contained any vegetables in it whatsoever. And in that sense, it's kind of similar to zucchini bread, and how zucchini bread can be quite moist, but you don't really taste any of the zucchini. You taste the spices, the cinnamon, the nutmeg in it. This is similar. You taste the lemon and the bit of spice in this rather than any kind of vegetable. Interesting. But yeah, I think it's like a mid-century take on Fruit Loops in a bar form. The precursor, the bar precursor form of Fruit Loops without artificial colors and flavors. If that's not a pitch, I don't know what is. All right, my lovies, there you have it. The moist lettuce bars. Perfect for your next shindig. When you are meeting up with your buddies, your mates, maybe book club, bring this over and have people guess what is the mysterious ingredient in this retro recipe. Alrighty, my lovelies. I hope you enjoy that one. I hope you learned something. Get in touch with me if you have any recipes that you'd like me to test out or try, whether they be delicious, odd, or just curious. I'm always happy to hear from you. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Lettuce bars! What? They are moist though. They are moist.